Hey guys, it's October the 4th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. I hope everybody's having a nice, safe, sober start to their weekend as well. Guys, let's stay sober today. There are so many reasons to stay sober this weekend. There really are. I've been thinking all morning about what I wanted to talk about today and had all these different ideas that I thought about discussing, but after, thinking about it long and hard this morning, I just really thought it would be important to hop on here and just, talk about why we're staying sober this weekend. Because there are so many reasons why. And I'm just going to sit here this morning and just list off some stuff off the top of my head as to why we are staying sober this weekend and not drinking or using, or, gambling or, whatever it may be, shopping, whatever it is that you're trying to get away from. At the end of the day, the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and over again and expecting different results. And that's exactly what we do when we're in the middle of active addiction. It's insanity. We keep doing the same thing over and over and over again every single day. And then we expect different results, and they're not going to happen until we decide to make a change. And, for any of you guys out there watching this right now that have decided to make that change and, get sober, I'm proud of you. I just want you to know that, because it is not easy. And if you have made a change in your life and, stop that shopping addiction, or maybe stop gambling, or, you've gotten off of pornography, that's been something that you've been addicted to, I'm proud of you, because it's not easy. And, to make that decision and finally go, enough is enough, I'm ready to make the change, I'm ready to turn my life around, that's a tough decision to make. It really, truly is. Trust me, I know. I tried to make that decision so many times in my life, and I just could not do it. So for any of you guys out there who are watching this right now, and you have gotten sober, and you are living your best life right now, I am so, so proud of you. I know how difficult this can be sometimes. I do. I know how boring sometimes it can be, especially if you've been drinking for years upon years, and, all of the fun things that you've done in your life were all connected with alcohol or a substance, and then you remove that, life can get kind of boring in the beginning. It really, truly can. And I completely get it. That could be one of the most difficult hurdles to get over, is the boredom. It's a Saturday morning and you just don't know what to do with yourself. You don't have any hobbies that you enjoy at the moment. And, those thoughts of, just going to the store and getting a 12-pack can be really, really tempting. It can be really tempting to go grab that 12-pack and just sit on the couch and watch football all day, or get on YouTube and flip through YouTube videos all day. That's something that I used to do all the time. I would get bored and just sit down and drink and watch television. And I liked doing that. I mean, I really did. I didn't have to think about anything. I could just basically completely zone out watching television. It was like all of my problems just melted away. It's like they weren't even there. There I was, just laying in my bed or sitting on the couch, drinking away the day. And like I said, just zoning out to whatever it is that was on the television. There are so many reasons, like I said, though, that we're going to stay sober this weekend. There really, truly are. Number one of the biggest things that we don't have to worry about when we stay sober is blacking out. I used to black out almost every single day. I really, truly did. I'm not kidding. I woke up every single morning completely confused, didn't remember what had happened the night before. My wife was always upset with me because of whatever I had done the night before, whatever I'd said. She was always upset with me. And every day I knew that when I got home from work, I was going to have a conversation with her about whatever had happened the night before. I dreaded it all day long, the amount of anxiety that I had throughout the day, just wondering, because I didn't remember what had happened. And she would not discuss it with me in the morning. I'd wake up and say, what are you mad at me about? And she'd say, we're not talking about it today. You can wait until you get home from work. And like I said, the whole day, there I am wondering, what did I do? And I didn't know. And I had to wait until I got home after, working a 12-hour shift to get home and then get chewed out from my wife for whatever happened the night before. And now I don't have to worry about that. And, whoever you are out there watching this right now, if you're staying sober this weekend, you're not going to have to worry about that either. We don't have to worry about blacking out. We don't have to worry about losing our car keys and our phone and our wallet and, whatever other possessions that are very important to us, because we went out the night before, got completely wasted drunk, and had to take an Uber home and just left them in the back seat because we were so drunk. Or maybe you went to a gas station and needed to grab a pack of cigarettes, after you were out drinking all night long, and you left your keys and your wallet and your phone just sitting right there on the counter, but you grabbed your smokes. I mean, these are the types of things that we do when we're in active addiction. It used to happen to me all the time. Every single morning, without fail, when I woke up, there were 3 things that I looked for. And this happened every single day because I used to lose them so often. My phone, my wallet, and my keys. I had to find those first thing every single morning when I woke up. I would have a panic attack if I didn't know where those 3 items were. I would start tearing up the house, looking for all my stuff until I found it. And I could not rest easy in the morning until I knew where those things were. And speak about, blacking out the night before and losing your keys and your wallet and things like that. How about that feeling the next morning when you wake up, you're so hungover, your head's pounding out of your head, you feel like you're about to, like have a heart attack because the anxiety is so bad and all this stuff, and all you need, your hands are shaking like this, you can barely hold anything, your mind's not working right, it's jumbled and all over the place, and all I need right this moment is a drink to make all this go away. You're in the middle of withdrawals, and like I said, all I need is a quick drink and this stuff will all settle down. But the caveat is you don't remember where you put your bottle the night before because you got so drunk that you blacked out and you decided to hide your bottle in the middle of that. And now you can't find it. Have you ever been through that before? That used to happen to me all the time. Here it is. It's, I'm supposed to be at work at 7 o'clock and, it's 6 a.m. and I cannot find my bottle anywhere. And there's no way I can get behind the wheel of a vehicle and drive without having that drink to settle my hands. I just could not do it. The anxiety was so bad. There was no way I could get behind the wheel of a car, but I couldn't find my bottle, and that panicked feeling that I would have, because I had no idea where it was. And then on top of it, did my wife maybe take it and pour it out? Because that used to happen all the time as well. My wife would find my bottle and she'd just pour it out and wouldn't say a word to me. So I didn't know, and I didn't want to go ask my wife, hey, did you find my half a gallon of vodka that I had for the night before and pour that out? You mean that bottle I wasn't even supposed to have because I don't drink liquor anymore and I'm only drinking beer? So I couldn't say anything to her, and I'm trying to find my bottle, and that panicked feeling that I would have, we don't have to worry about that anymore. That's gone. There are just so many things that we don't have to worry about, when we're staying sober. We don't have to worry about, losing all of our relationships, losing relationships with our friends because, we're in active addiction and we did or said something to hurt their feelings, or, we don't have to worry about losing relationships with our family members because of our drinking or using. Because we destroy all of our relationships when we're in active addiction, friends and family. I've spoken about this so many times, but I used to have so many friends. But while I was in active addiction, I lost all of them. I pushed them all away, one way or another. And usually it was because I said something that was just really rude. And it's not like I was meaning to hurt anybody's feelings. That's not what I was trying to do. That wasn't my intent. More or less, I thought I was being funny most of the time. But in my drunkenness, I didn't quite understand humor very well. And like I said some very offensive things to people, lost a lot of relationships. I lied to a lot of people. I just did a lot of things that just weren't cool, and went from having so many friends to not having many at all. Now I've got all of you guys out there, but I'm talking about people that I used to just hang around with back in the day. I ran all of those people off because of my active addiction. Another thing that we don't have to worry about anymore. One of the biggest things too is the negative effect to our health. We don't have to. We're going to have negative effects to our health as we get older. I mean, it's just one of the things that happens, but we don't have to worry about, causing them because of our drinking. And alcohol, it destroys absolutely every single part of our body. There's not a part of our body really that alcohol doesn't mess up, especially our organs. Your liver, for one, your liver has 500 functions. And it is probably the most important organ that we have. And alcohol destroys your liver. I can promise you, it's one of the things that you just don't think about until you've screwed it up. But I can promise you that you do not want to screw your liver up. You just don't, because the side effects that come along with that, there are so many and so uncomfortable. It just causes so many issues. It destroys your pancreas. It destroys your intestines, your stomach, your skin, your heart, your brain, your vision. You can end up with diabetes because of this. Another reason to stay sober this weekend. Diabetes is a horrible disease to have, especially just dealing with the insulin and going to the endocrinologist and the amount of money that you have to spend. Diabetes is an expensive disease. And you can save yourself potentially a lot of money by staying sober, just by the negative health impacts that come along with it. Like I said, there are just so many the amount of money that you're going to save by not drinking. It's just insane. I've spoken about, I could have bought and paid for a house cash with the amount of money that I wasted away drinking alcohol. I wasted away so much money. And there were so many times that I would go out, especially in my younger years. I would go out to the bar with a friend of mine, and we were only going to go out for 2 beers or whatever it is. And then I woke up the next morning and realized I spent my car payment that night, and I did not have a way to get the money. So there I was having to go and sell something, or go pick up a second job doing something. There was this one time that I needed money so bad, I went and worked with a friend of mine for a couple of weekends, pumping septic tanks. That was not a fun job to do, but I had to do it because I needed the money for rent, and I had blown all of my cash going out one night. And I had a friend of mine that pumped septic tanks on the weekend. I knew he was looking for help, and I called him up and said, "Hey, you mind if I come work with you for a couple weekends?" He said, "Come on." And once again, that was not a fun job, but I had to do it because, once again, I wasted all of my money drinking because I was blackout drunk. But like I said, guys, there are so many reasons to stay sober this weekend. I could sit here for the next 5-6 hours just listing off reason after reason after reason to stay sober. I really, truly could. The fact that drinking alcohol causes us to gain weight. I weighed 250 pounds before I got sick. I'm not a super tall guy. I'm 5'9" at 250 pounds. My face was so red back then. I looked like a cherry. I still have all these red lines on my face from the bursted blood vessels. They're all over my nose because of the spider veins, and those are never going to go away. I ruined my vision because of my drinking. It all happened because I ended up getting diabetes because of my drinking, which destroyed my vision. I didn't wear glasses my whole entire life. I didn't start wearing glasses until after I got sick. Like I said, there are just so many reasons to stay sober this weekend, guys. But more than anything else, just your life in general. When we continue an active addiction, it just completely holds us back. We can't be our best version of ourselves when we're in active addiction. We just can't. And I know that each and every single one of you watching this right now wants to be the very best version of yourself. And if you want to be that, let's stay sober this weekend. If you have just gotten sober and this is really difficult and you feel uncomfortable and you're starting to get that feeling like nothing is fun anymore and you're just not enjoying life, and I completely get it. Give it some time. You will get back to enjoying things again. It just takes time. I think that's one of the biggest reasons that a lot of us end up relapsing, because we get to this point where we just feel like nothing is enjoyable. We don't get that feeling of happiness for a little while, and that's all we want to feel. We just want to feel some joy. We want to feel happy again. So we go, you know what? The heck with it. If I'm going to be this unhappy, getting sober, it's just not worth being sober. But what I'm here to tell you is that give it some time. That feeling of happiness is going to come back. You are going to start to get joy out of things again. It just takes time. Practice makes perfect. It's just like anything else. You have to practice. It's not going to come to you overnight. Just hang in there. Like I said, it is going to come back to you. You do not want to destroy your health continuing to drink. I was just reading an article the other day, and I almost made a video about it, but the whole article was saying that there are absolutely no positive benefits to drinking alcohol. That, they were saying back in the day that there was like, at least one benefit, that, it helps with cardiovascular health and things like that. They've proven that that's even false now, that no amount of alcohol is safe. And as a matter of fact, that even small amounts of alcohol, a glass of wine a day or just a couple glasses of wine a week or a couple beers a week can cause permanent brain damage. And I can't remember whether it was linked to Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. It was one of the two of those, but they've shown a strong correlation between the two. And, once again, if we stay sober this weekend, we don't have to worry about that. Let's just not drink or use this weekend, guys. Just this weekend. And, more or less, let's not drink or use today. If we can just make it through today, then we'll worry about tomorrow when it gets here. So once again, for today, let's not drink. Just for today. I'm going to have this video posted. It's probably going to be about 1 o'clock before it gets uploaded. And by the time that this video gets up, you've got, 7-8 hours left in the day? That's it. Count them down, each hour at a time. If this gets uploaded at 1, all you got to do is make it to 2. And then once you make it to 2, all you have to do is make it to 3. And just keep going like that until it's time to go to bed tonight. If you can make it through today like that, you can make it through tomorrow as well. And that's one more weekend down. You're going to get to wake up Monday morning, go to work, feeling refreshed. You're not going to have that sluggish, hungover feeling again this Monday. I used to tell myself every single day that I had off. So, like, I used to be off on Mondays or Tuesdays. And I would always tell myself, I am not going to go back to work on Wednesday hungover again. Because, the last Wednesday that I'd gone back to work, it was absolutely horrible. I was so hungover, and I told myself, I'm not going through that again this week. Guess what? I would end up going back to work on that Wednesday feeling like completely hungover. It happened every single time, and it was the worst feeling in the world, knowing I had to go back to work after my day or days off, and here I am hungover again. So like I said, you get to go back to work on Monday feeling refreshed. You're going to be able to make that next step towards that promotion or, getting those new clients or whatever it is. So guys, let's stay sober just one more day. We can do it. I know that you can do it. I believe in you. Whatever it takes to stay sober today, just do it. If that means that you have to sit down and binge watch a Netflix show all day long because deep down inside that if you get up and do anything today, it's going to make you want to drink. Do whatever it takes. Just stay sober again for today. Every day that we stay sober is a victory. It is a win, and I know that you can do it. I know you can. If I can get sober, it is possible for anybody out there in the world to get sober. I was in such a bad place, such a dark place. I couldn't do anything without drinking. And here I am, almost 3.5 years sober. I never thought that this would be possible. Once again, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I was drinking a half a gallon of vodka, plus shots of Fireball, plus beer every single day. I didn't go anywhere without alcohol on me. I had shots of alcohol hidden in my socks, shots of alcohol hidden in my pockets, a water bottle with vodka in it in my backpack, a cooler full of beer and ice that I drove around with in my vehicle at all times. There was always a cooler in my vehicle with beer in it. And here I am now. I don't drink. I don't do anything. I don't have to drive around with beer with me anywhere. And like I said, if I can get sober, I know you can too. If I can stay sober, I know you can too. Guys, I believe in each and every single one of you. And I truly appreciate each and every single one of you being here. I really do. Guys, until tomorrow, I will see you all then. And I hope and I pray that each and every single one of you continues to stay sober just for today. We can do it this weekend, guys. I know you can. I'll see you all tomorrow. I love you guys so much.